Hi Stampers, welcome to Great Inspirations. My name is Kim Tolbert and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thank you for joining me. Today I have two cards that were made using products from the Stampin' Up! January through June 2022 mini catalog. And these cards are a fun fold. They're a gatefold card in that they actually open from the center, and it is called a floating gatefold card because when you open the card there are two images that pop up. Actually it's sort of a pop-up card, just a little bit of a twist on a pop-up card. And this one was made using the stamp set Easter Friends. And then this card says Seize the Day. You open it up and we find more ocean life in there. And it was made with the stamp set Seize the Day. But I also used the stamp set Oceanfront. I used this image right here for the background for the ocean. I also used the coordinating dies that go along with the Seize the Day to cut out the fish, the sea plants, the crab, and then all the little items in here. So these cards are so easy to make, and I thought I would just walk you through one. And the card that we're going to make today, I'm going to use some stamps from the annual catalog, and we're going to use the Party Puffins stamp set and the All Squared Away stamp set. So we'll put these away for now, and we'll bring in what we're going to need to make our floating gatefold card. First, you're going to need a piece of cardstock for the card base that is 8.5 by 5.5 inches. And we're going to score it at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. Or you can score it at 2 1/8, turn your paper over and score it 2 1/8 again. So we're going to simply fold our score lines towards the center of the card. I'm going to use a little bone folder here. Get them a little more crisp. And there is our card base. And then for the inside of the card, you will need a piece of cardstock, and this is Whisper White, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. And then you'll need some panels here, and for mine, I decided to use some Designer Series paper. And this is the 6 by 6 Designer Series paper in the brights, and this would be, let me see, which one is it? It's Coastal Cabana. And then you will need two strips that are 1 inch by 5 inch, and we're going to talk about scoring those in just a minute. And then you will need an image for the outside for the focal point, and you will need 2 images for inside the card. On my blog there will be a supply list and instructions for these items right here. You'll have all the dimensions and the supplies listed there. And in the description of this video there will be a link to my blog post that corresponds with this card. So let's talk a little bit about these strips and how I decided to make it 1 inch by 5. Because these will be on the inside, and these are the little mechanisms that cause your image to pop up when the card's open. So I suggest, depending on the image size, that these may be, as far as width, anywhere from 1/2 to 1 inch, maybe a little larger for some larger images. If you start to make these a little under 1/2 inch, say you do 1/4 inch, they tend not to be as sturdy. They will work, but if the card, if you think it's, like you send it to a child and they're going to be opening it a lot, you may want to go with 1/2 inch. But the way I determine it is the width or the height of my image. Now for the, oh, sorry, for the length of this, the way I do it is I measure how wide my image is, and this one is right at 2 inches. So I take 2 inches and then I add 3 inches to it. So that's how I got the 5 inches in length for this strip. And then when you score, you're going to score at 1 inch, flip it around, and score at 1 and 2 inches. So then this in the middle will be what you measured, and then you don't have to do a lot of math that way. I like math, but not always. So anyway, score at 1 inch on this end, flip it, and score at 1 inch and 2 inches. And then again, to get the length, you take the width of your image and add 3 inches. That's how you get it. And the scoring is always the same. 1 inch on one side and score at 1 inch and 2 inch on the other side. So got these all folded. Do this one, fold it on the score lines. Okay. Now we'll put the panels on. Let me get my adhesive. Oh, that's pretty close. Now we'll put this second one on. And it's easier to put on because you can line it up with the previous one sometimes. There we go. And now we'll put the inside of the card in. Get some adhesive on it. Turn it this way, I can see better. There we go. And now we're ready to put in our little pop-up mechanisms. Now the 1 inch side, this one with just the one little 1 inch flap, it always goes towards the score line. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to get my silicone craft sheet, and I'm going to put adhesive right here on this section, the 2 inch section, where our image is going to go. Just get him right in there. And then we'll do the same, only this one, the 1 inch side, goes to the left, but on this one, the little 1 inch square, it has to go to the right. So we'll get the adhesive on this section. Okay, now we're going to put adhesive here and here on these little 1 inch tabs. Okay. Now we'll adhere it. You want to make sure his little hat, make sure the top of your image is below the top of the card. And then I'm having a hard time seeing here. We're going to let this just line it up right with your score line. Just let it go down, and he's too high. There we go. Fold this under and press. And there you go. To press, oops, press him down. Oops, that's There, let's get him done again. I think he's stuck on himself. There we go. That worked. Now we do this one the exact same way, except we put the adhesive on the right side and then down here. You want to make sure he doesn't stick out of the bottom. My score line isn't exactly even, is it? There you go. That's how it works. And now we're going to put our little focal image on the front. Now for this, we only want to put adhesive on this side, on the left-hand side, on the back. Because if we put it on each side, of course, we would adhere our card closed. We don't want to do that. I'm not really sure what's going on with this. Have to work on that. It doesn't want to close all the way. But we'll go ahead and put this on here. And there we have our front of the card, and we'll open it. And right here, I'm going to open this up all the way, and that's where I'm going to put my happy birthday. The inside greeting. Put it right here, and then there'll be room to sign the card down there. So let me get the stamp inked up. And there we go. There is our gatefold, or floating gatefold card. You bring the other two back in. There's the one with the little duck, and then here is the seize the day. Now, as I said, all the instructions and the measurements, all that kind of thing will be on my blog. There's also a list of some tips.